All right, so we're back again. Had a little technical difficulty.
Are you throwing shots at him? He said we have technical difficulties.
That's all I said. I
didn't looked over.
I didn't look over.
You looked
I just
over.
said technical difficulty. That's all.
Easy to hate from the cheap seats. You know
Hey.
All right, Steve. Yep. So we're talking about tipping today,
Mhm.
and basically now everybody kind of feels like they're pressured to tip.
Mhm.
When you can go to a sandwich shop,
Yeah.
and when you swipe your card, they prompt you, would you like to tip? $1, $2, $3, $4,
Mhm.
custom. So with that being said, what do you think about, what's your opinion about tipping?
Yeah. As soon as they swing that tablet to me to give a tip, I swing it right back. So it's
Unless you feel like you're in the tipping spirit.
no, it's an incentive, right?
Mhm.
It's you did a great job, I'll give you a tip, but don't try to force me to tip you to make up for a low wage or a low salary. Your company should be paying you a fair wage. So if you're getting 15 an hour, a tip is an incentive to do good, but it shouldn't be forced upon me. So I shouldn't be making or paying for your entire salary.
Well, it's not forced upon you. It's just being, hey,
Pushed upon
closed
you.
mouths don't get fed. So, hey, would you like to tip? Maybe it's just you feeling guilty, like,
No, I
Should
don't
I?
feel guilty.
You don't feel
It's
guilty?
my money.
Okay.
I shouldn't feel guilty if I don't give you money, extra money.
So when you go to a restaurant and let's say you have a large party,
Mhm.
let's say you got 20 people and they have recommended gratuity,
Mm-hmm.
20%, 30%. You think that should be done away with? Because what if somebody has a 20-person party they're serving and then somebody wants to be cheap and says, well, here's $2?
I mean, I think that's part of the job, right? You might get a table of 2 people, you might get a table of 20 people. But again, that goes back to people should be getting paid fair wages from their companies. Now, me, myself, I would automatically give you a higher tip because you're taking care of more people.
Mhm.
But it should not be forced upon me to say, you need to give 20% because I forgot which restaurant I went to. But it was a requirement, even though the party wasn't big, to give like a 20% or 25% tip,
Mhm.
which I wasn't aware of until the end, even though the party was like 4 people.
Mhm.
So you can't tell me how much extra I'm going to pay you for a service that I'm already paying for the food and your service and everything. So I think that's kind of a ripoff and needs to be dealt with.
So I'm gonna give you a story, real quick story.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to name the restaurant.
Mhm.
It's a barbecue spot.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So you already know.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of
I
that.
think you might have been there that day.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. And the food was great. Got the bill, and then we felt like we tipped a fair amount. We weren't
Mhm.
being cheap. We was like, okay, this did good quality service.
Yeah.
The waitress comes back and says, "Oh no, you're supposed to tip more."
Yeah.
I was like, "What do you mean supposed to tip more?" That was the first time I've ever heard that. Never heard that.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Because you have X amount of people in your party, you're supposed to tip more."
Mhm.
And at that point, I almost felt like I wanted to take my tip back.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like I was trying to stiff you or anything, but it was like you had the nerve to come back here and say I was supposed to tip more.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, the party was not that big.
It wasn't that big.
Felt-
It was
like-
it was probably under 10 people. It might have been 8 people, maybe that.
Yeah, I think it was smaller than that, if I remember correctly. So that's where I was like, you're forcing this on me. It's no longer a tip.
Mhm.
You might as well just put this in the cost of us
You
being
might as well
here.
just bill it in the
You might just bill it in here,
Yeah.
but I shouldn't be paying extra just because you say so.
Yeah. So I had a really big problem with that because I was like, wow, nobody's ever come back and says, hey, you're
Yeah.
supposed to tip more. But
But it seems like it's evolving nowadays. Like if it's even more businesses, like if I go to just a a standard carryout,
yeah.
why am I tipping you extra?
Yeah. Here's a sandwich shop I've been to where they have that on there now. The tip thing. I'm not going to name the sandwich shop.
Yeah. But it's a carryout. What extra services are you paying? Are you giving to me to make me more?
Oh, that's a carryout?
Yeah, there's certain carryouts you go to where they'll have the tablet and they'll ask for a tip. But it's like,
A
what?
Chinese carryout?
I'm not going to name names.
Okay. All right.
But why am I giving you extra money?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Jay, I know you got a video. What you got for us, man?
Well, first, I want to ask,
Uh-huh.
do you guys have a set amount that you do tip?
Depends on where I'm at.
Yeah, it depends.
So most places, I shouldn't be telling this. I start off about, it depends on where it is. If it's the quality of the place. It's the quality of the place.
Interesting.
So if I'm going to like a Applebee's or something like that, I know my end cost is not going to be crazy, right?
Mhm.
So I might start off at like $10. Now, based on the service, I start striking. Oh, it took her too long to bring me water. That's $1 off.
Oh man.
Oh, food was cold. That's $3 off. Man,
Even if it's their first day.
I don't care about that. That's not.
Okay.
Why
You
should I
gonna give them
care?
a little slack?
Why should I care about?
Okay.
I don't know that information. I'm here to get food. I'm here to procure food. That's all I'm here to do. It's not my responsibility if this is your first day or something like that. I'll give you a little leeway, whatever.
Mhm.
But that's how I typically do it. What about you, Jay?
So I tip 20%
Mm-hmm.
all the time, anywhere. I don't care where I'm at.
Okay.
I don't,
Even if it's a takeout.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't yeah. I don't tip takeout.
Okay.
I don't tip if I'm working, I'm not tipping you. I don't.
What about Uber?
Uber Eats. I think normally my wife usually does the DoorDash, but I think it's normally like $5, $4 or $5 we'll tip
Okay.
on a delivery.
Yeah. Because the cost of Uber Eats is already kind of like, or DoorDash, you like, God.
But see, but that's the thing, right? Here we go. Anti-capitalism, Josh.
Go for it.
We are in a capitalistic society that basically is taking advantage of the workers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a worker. That's who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, we all attain and want to be whatever, but we're workers in this system. And so I'm not going to punish a worker because of our system.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times people are looking at the system and getting mad at the worker. It's like, it's not his fault. It's not your waitress's fault that they get paid $2 an hour. It's not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
You think they wouldn't want to get paid $15 an hour and not have to ask you for a tip? I'm sure they would. But they do, because that's the nature of our society. So if I have it, I'm going to tip it. That's just the way I kind of work. It works for me in tipping. Now, if I'm going to a carryout place, I'm not tipping you. You're not making $2 an hour. I know you're not making $2 an hour. But the waitress, I know she's making $2 an hour. So I'm going to make sure I put a little extra on that, just to make sure that, when I come in, I'm tipping, I'm giving you your 20%. If the service was bad, I'm probably still tipping you 20%.
If the service and the food was bad.
The food, the waitress has nothing to do with the food. The cook is getting $15 an hour. The waitress isn't getting $15 an hour. So I'm not going to punish the waitress for the food.
But you just said that even if the service was bad,
I'm probably still going to give you 20%.
Really?
I'm probably still, just for me, because that's just my baked in cost in my head already.
Okay.
Like, that's my cost.
Cost of doing business.
That's the cost of doing business for me. But yeah, that's, everyone has their own thing, but me is 20%, but I don't tip takeout at all. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, I've never put money in a tip jar. I don't get it. Like, I get it if I had change, you know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like carrying the change. Okay, you can have the change. So, but I'm not giving you 5% for handing me something over a counter. That doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So let's kick this over to Mr. Krabs. Joe, well, what do you do? How much do you tip?
It's not even standard. Like Josh said, it's not a percent. It's basically what I feel at the end of the service. If I feel like it's worth a $10 tip, if I feel like it's worth no tip, then I get no tip.
You've not tipped before?
Yeah, when the service was really lousy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give a 0.
Yeah, I'm serious. When it was, and it's one thing I can forgive for a couple things. Things happen. You get busy. I'm understanding, but I'm talking about if it's just lousy and your attitude.
Put some context behind it. So, like, what happened? What took place?
Okay, so this was a long time ago, but it took like almost an hour and a half to get the food, and there was no proactiveness on their end to say, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to throw in some extra biscuits or something, because at the time there was nothing. It was almost like we didn't care.
Was it
and
no
we saw
communication?
it was very little.
Okay.
And then we saw other people that got there after us getting served before us. Multiple people. And we raised hell about it later, that we didn't get but I was just like, oh no, I'm not tipping.
Yeah.
I'm not tipping. At this point, I don't even want the food really anymore, because it's been forever.
So kick this back to you, Jay. So basically, based off what you said you give the waiter a tip no matter what. Now that is on the waiter too, because the waiter could at least communicate and say, hey,
yeah, there was very little.
We're running behind a little bit. My apologies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I can understand that.
But if there's no communication, now that's on the waiter. That's on the cook.
Almost like we were afterthought. Like,
exactly.
I understand people being upset. Like, I get it. I understand your point. But if I go to the barber and he fucks, I'm not paying the barber. He fucks my haircut up. But
he's gonna walk out.
Yeah, I'm not giving you money. No, you just ruined. I got 3 weeks now. I gotta look crazy for 3 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Barber, I probably wouldn't. I tip my barber though. trying to think. I just never. I guess I haven't had such a bad experience where I'm just like, I'm not giving the waitress the money, because if my food is late, they're not cooking the food, so I don't. Now, you could communicate with us. Yeah, you ain't getting us no refills. Of course, I'll talk to the manager, but the manager's not getting tips. You know what I'm saying? So like that's like kind of just how I've looked at it. And like I said, I'm anti-capitalism, Josh. So I'm here for the workers.
I get it, but they took that job too, and they understand that the quality of their service, the amount of tips that they get requires them is based on the quality of their service. So if he knows he dropped the ball really bad, then he shouldn't be still expecting a tip at the end of the day.
I mean, what somebody expects and what I'm willing to give are two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not giving you based on what other people expect. I give you based on what I can give. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a person to give, someone begging for money on the street money. That's not what I do. I don't give you anybody, that's not my thing. But I will, look, I get it. But at the same time, I don't think I've had some bad service before, but I still have never. I'm gonna give you the 20%. That's just me. It doesn't. It's not like I'm spending enough money for it to be a big deal. Because if I'm going to a place where the tip is really, where it's going to be a lot of money, then I'm going to probably get good service. Like, I'm not, if I'm spending $250, $300 for a meal. Now, I don't have kids either. So if I had kids and I went to Fridays and I'm spending extra money and, maybe your bill's a little bit higher. But for me, if me and my wife go to Outback and we spend $80 and I tip $16, like, I don't, for me, that $16, whether the service was good or bad, it just doesn't affect me. And it, I don't know. That's just how I.
That night I was no tipping Pippin. So
hey, I get it. But I just, if it's me and the service is, I feel like if I'm in that position, I'm walking out. Like, don't even give me the food. We ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm not about to sit and wait and get mad and then punish. I don't know. I guess it just depends. It just depends. If somebody was rude to me or had an attitude or was like, antagonistic or something, then yeah, I'm not giving you extra money. But just, I don't know. I'm a nice guy, I guess, when it comes to the tipping. At least for that. But I'm not tipping on carry out, and I'm not giving anybody.
You're not a nice guy when it comes to carry out, though. You don't think.
That's crazy though. Well, I don't understand. Like, you handed me food over a counter. What am I tipping you?
Exactly.
Like, I ain't got it like that. If I had it like that, then I got it like that. But I don't got it like that.
But they say you can't tip $1
for what?
And that's my point. You provide no additional service.
They did provide service though.
You already paid for that.
You came in, they greeted you, say hello, sir.
That's part of the
Can we
job.
help you today?
I'm not paying you to say hello.
Do you give a Walmart? You give a Walmart greeter $1 because they said hello?
They didn't put it in their system.
Well, why don't you just give them cash? Because they went above and beyond and said hello.
They got a cash job.
Do you give the Chick-fil-A worker who says "my pleasure" an extra $1?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if they start putting that on.
Job though.
I mean, but I was pushing back on him, talking about he's a nice guy. I said, hey, you could tip $1. Be a nice guy.
I guess at the end of the day, I know that waiters and waitresses are making $2 an hour. I guess that's the difference.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know that they're making $2 an hour.
Now let me ask you this, Josh. Back to you on this one.
Sure.
So, the cost of a cut is a whole lot more now.
Absolutely.
It's no longer a $10 cut, $15 cut. Some are $35, $45, $50.
Yeah.
If you're paying $50 for a cut, do you give a tip?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still standard.
I mean, it's still not a lot.
Yeah.
It's still $5.
Yeah.
But, it's not, the tip didn't go up with inflation.
Yeah.
But,
especially they did a good job.
Yeah.
But and 9 times out of 10, my barber is, that's a close friend.
Exactly.
When it comes to men, your barbers is, we need them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make sure that they taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, when I'm late or when I'm this or when I'm that, they can work me in their schedule. So, that's different. That's a consistent thing. I may never go to that restaurant again. You know what I'm saying? So I could not tip, you know what I'm saying? Not really care, but I don't know. I think maybe my brothers and stuff, they, worked in that, were waiters and stuff when they were young, and they said 20%, so it's cool. But I know now they're like 25%. It's like, that's not happening. I'm not going up. I'm going to 20. Now I have tipped more than 20. Usually when I'm in a nicer restaurant, I've given. I think my biggest tip was like maybe like $100 or something.
Yeah. Or if the service is just like that, sometimes you run into certain waiters, they just on point with everything. Like they can read your mind.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm thirsty. Bring another drink, or they might give you a little something extra or whatever. So yeah, I'll give a great tip. You know, when it's due for.
Mhm.
But I'm not the one guy to sit $10 on the table and be like, "Oh, you fucked up. I'm taking away $1.
Hey, that's
Oh,
me.
you messed up.
That's
I'm
me.
taking away 75 cents
What
because."
you say? No tip, Joe?
To me, man, that's just baked into the price. Like if I'm gonna be like that, then I'm just gonna take it to go. That's how I feel. I just take it to go. Like why am I sit down and do all this and
But you just said
I got time.
it's not the waiter's problem. You know, they only getting $2, so you're gonna tip them regardless.
that's what I'm saying. So that's when I sit down, it's baked into my price.
Mm.
I don't even think about it. It's not a thought of, oh, you didn't do something, so now I'm gonna punish you. Like it's this is the price for eating here. It's an extra 20% on top of whatever I order. So that's just how I think. If I order a $50 steak, what's 20% of 50? You know,
Mm-hmm.
boom. That's what I'm giving you.
$10, right?
Hmm?
Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I got you.
Can't do the math right.
Yeah. Well,
It's $5.
It's $5. Yeah.
20% is $5.
All right.
No, it's $10. You're right.
Yeah. See, goddamn, you got my head fucked up now.
I'm sorry.
Keep that shit in
But
the
yeah,
video.
I mean, cut it out, please. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just how I think. I'm like, that's the price.
Yeah.
I go in, it's an extra 20 on top. I don't even think about it, you know. But I'm more antagonistic though, so I'm gonna talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna talk to you if you give me bad service though. I'm gonna be like, what's up? What's going on? Like, you got something else you need to do or something? Like, you know, like I'll do that.
Then you get a loogie in your food.
Yeah, not my
Yeah, you
food.
gotta be careful with
Not
that.
my food.
And the steak extra juicy. What you put in this?
Hell no.
Keep doing that.
Hell no. I mean, I'm not gonna think it. Nah, I'm just gonna be like, what's going on? We good? What's up? Like,
I got you. I got you, bro.
yeah,
I got you.
yeah, all right. Hey, look, if I think somebody gonna spit on my food, I'm not going. Like, I'm not going no place where I feel like somebody would spit on my food for talking to them.
That's the thing. You never know.
Well, then I'm gonna cook myself. Then that's what it needs to be. Then it needs to be self-cooked jobs.